Hi there, Melissa Hall here with QA Prep, and I wanted to share in this video with you this month about policies and creating policies and how to best do that. You can get a ton of different feedback on this, but my opinion is that you want to create policies and forms that matter for your practice. So you want to, maybe ask some of your colleagues and get feedback from them, but really look at what works for you. So let's look at something really basic like no-shows. People have all kinds of different policies on no-shows, and you might not even be aware of this. So some people have a no-show policy, first of all, that they don't even follow. So they have a no-show policy, and then maybe they haven't had a no-show for 2 years, and then someone no-shows and they're like, do I charge them? I don't want to charge them. Or maybe a client calls and has, a really serious something that happened, and so you decide not to charge them, even though your no-show policy is that you'll charge $50 for a missed session. Now, what happens if you find out that your client lied to you? What happens if your client then decides to no-show again next month? And then 2 weeks later, they have another emergency. And 2 weeks later, they have another one. These could be legitimate emergencies. Maybe you work with a client who has an ailing parent and is constantly in and out of the hospital, or has a child who has a lot of stuff going on. These are things that you want to think about, because the point with policies is that you stick to them. So although we really want to help people, and that's usually most counselors' goals, right, is that we want to help people, we want our work to matter. We want to be able to rely on the relationship we have with our clients. But we also need to have really clear policies because they help with our boundaries. And so the key with having policies is that you need to have a policy you'll stick to. So if you know for sure that you tend to let people slide on no-shows, then create your policy around that. So some therapists have a policy around no-shows where they allow clients a certain number of freebies over the course of a year. So maybe you allow 2 freebies or 4 freebies over the course of a year. So that's 2 or 4 times when clients can cancel on you with less than 24 hours notice, and you won't charge them. So maybe that's something that you can get behind a little bit more than the idea of, charging $50. So that's another thing. Some therapists charge a flat rate for a missed session. Other therapists charge their full fee. To get around this, some therapists just charge for sessions on the day of session, and they say, every morning, the day, if your session is every Thursday at 3 p.m., just to let you know, every Thursday morning at 9 a.m., that's when I run everyone's credit cards. So that's when you'll be charged for your session, and then it doesn't matter if they call or not, they're charged. Now, obviously, if you have people constantly paying for no-shows and having no problem with that, that becomes then a clinical issue that you still want to talk to them about. But these are things that can help to really tone down on resentment, because I see a lot of therapists, I hear so many therapists talk about being resentful towards their clients for things around their policies, and also having a lot of fear around keeping their policies. So just think about flexibility there. Try to think outside the box, talk with people, get different ideas, and create policies that matter to you and that you feel strongly about and you can stick to. All right, if you are interested in learning more about policies, this is something we go over in my clinical documentation program, Meaningful Documentation. So you can always check out when the next round of that is starting. All right, and if not, then keep up with the blog and with these videos every month, and happy writing.